What's going on YouTube? QKG here, and today we are going to get into a new segment which is called Storytime with QKG. Now, pretty much guys, this is just going to be me going ahead telling you guys true life stories. I don't have like the most exciting life, but some interesting stuff does happen. And then whenever something does happen that I feel like sharing with you guys, I go ahead and make it into a video form just to let you guys know what's been going on. And oh my god, so this is gonna be the first episode of Storytime with QKG. I've done true stories with Tyro whenever I had the old name or whatever. Y'all know. Y'all seen the channel, y'all know how many times I done changed my damn name. But pretty much this is just gonna be the video on this is gonna be the true story of one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make. And this was literally, I would say, about last week when I had to do this. So, and then I was like stressing over it for like the past month on it too. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So if you guys remember me back then on my channel when I was doing all the PS Vita content, which we don't like to discuss that, but let me go ahead and give me a sip of water. But anyway, back then when I had did all that content, I actually announced on my channel that I was going to be getting a job. It was just retail, you know, just doing a cashier job. It wasn't much, but I was just like, this is the first actual job I have. I'm actually going to be working, getting my extra bread. I'm actually going to be able to get toaster strudels when I want to and be able to buy as many games. Well, that's what I thought. I was like, I'm going to be able to buy as many games as I want. I'm going to have junk food. I'm going to have all this. Bruh, it wasn't even like that. Like, I guarantee, like, there's been plenty of times where I had got paid and that paycheck was gone in like 2 days just because I had shit to take care of. But that's besides the point. So when I got hired in, the hiring process was very odd for me because I was expecting them, you know, because I had an interview before. It was like for some company back then. I don't remember the name, but I got interviewed by a guy that was foreign for that old job that I didn't get, and I couldn't understand this dude. He was like, "When can you start?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "When can you start?" And I was like, I said, I can stop. I guess I won't be able to. I mean, I can stop whenever you guys want me to. I thought he said stop. I was like, but I can start like, you know, tomorrow. It doesn't matter. And he's just like, oh, okay. And I was just like, oh my god. I was like, I'm not getting this damn job. I was like, I can't understand shit this dude's saying. But anyway, when I got hired in for the retail job or whatever, the dude didn't ask me no questions. He didn't like, you know, want to get to know me or tell me much about himself besides like a few things. Other than that, it was just like, I'm like, okay, I guess I got the job. I was like, it was kind of odd. I was just like, could have asked me something, but I guess not. I was like, all right, whatever. I got the job. Sweet, let's go. And so I was happy. And then from in there on, I was just excited every day to be working there and stuff like that. I met some great people. I even had a few friends even work for the company as well. I met some good friends working for the company as well. One of my old managers who pretty much taught me pretty much everything I needed to know before he dipped out. And then it was just pretty good. And then there was times when I started like hating the job, like when I actually found out how my actual boss was, like how he actually handles certain things. Like he's just not, he's the type of dude that would like try to, I'm not gonna, there was people saying stuff like, oh, he will try to make your drawer short and then you would be able to, just so you would end up getting rolled up and blah 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 or whatever, but he'll try to pull some fuck shit on you, so you just had to like be careful with that. So I never had that problem or never seen that problem. That's just some people been telling me like, yo, just don't trust him. And I was just like, I mean, he ain't did nothing to me yet, so I'm just like, it's alright. But he has had some occasions where he had called me into work and I'm just like, because I'm a college student, I'm like, oh, I got something to do today. I had like it was for my hospitality class. I had to do a restaurant interview. I had to go in there, I had to do like a restaurant like review or whatever, like go in there, eat, see how the service was, and then type up a review on it. And I told him I had that to do. And he was just like, well, when I call you here, I expect you to be here. Just don't be late. And then hung up the phone. I'm just like, bro, you asked me to come in early, and I told you I got shit to do, and you mad because I can't do it? And I just look at him like, okay, are you really serious right now? I came in that day, I didn't say shit to him. I didn't say shit to nobody because I was pissed off. I was like, if I open my mouth, I swear he ain't gonna like what I got to say. So I'm like, just keep your mouth shut, Quentin. Just go ahead and work this day and then just leave. So after, I mean, he apologized afterwards, but it was just like, you don't need to be talking to nobody like that. I don't care how mad you get or what you wanted them to say. You don't do that to nobody, especially like if you're the boss. Like, oh yeah, that's showing them what type of a leader you are. It's like, come on, bro. But yeah, he has had those occasions where he's done that. And then also, I would say some years down the line, well, not some years down the line, some months down the line, other managers were leaving, so I was like the only person who had been there for a while, and I was like the only vet there. So he turned to me for the manager position, and me at first I wasn't ready for it because I was just like, I really hate this place, and I'm not trying to be here. But then I was just like, bro, I'm trying to get this gaming PC. I want to go ahead and get this stuff. I was like, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and take this spot. So I ended up taking the manager spot, and I pretty much had more responsibility. I had a better role in the store. I wasn't just a cashier just ringing up shit. I was there pushing buttons. I was just pretty much just actually on the floor, cleaning the store, working stock, and all that stuff. Actually having a role, and then in charge of closing the store. So it was good. I was just like, that seems a whole lot easier than just standing up here, and a whole lot more fun than just pushing buttons all day. I was like, I can do that. So I ended up doing that for a while, for a good long time, until, well, pretty much until, well, I'll go ahead and tell you about the decision. But this is when shit went downhill. I say downhill. Downhill is I was actually enjoying the manager job for a while. I was having fun. But this is when shit went downhill. This was inventory time, and around inventory time, for some reason, I guess all the other people were stressed. Well, except for, well, actually one person, which was my boss, because he would do some stupid shit to where they were like, corporate was like on his neck, because he would do like shit like whenever I would come in for my shift, he would have 2 more hours to work and he'll just leave. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm like, the store's destroyed and you just gonna leave. There've been plenty of times where we got hella busy and the store was destroyed and he just bump out. And I was just like, you wonder why they're on your neck right now. So he was and his job was in jeopardy. So he was being all fucking anal on people and shit. And it just made no sense. I was just like, how you gonna get mad at everybody when it was you doing it? But anyway, around that time, he promoted another manager, but this dude had only been there for like a month, and all he did was work. He worked really good. He kissed some ass here and there, but he just got promoted within a month, and I guess my boss gave him a big head, and they got along really, really well. Like, really, really well. Like, this dude, my boss would take this dude out to lunch for like an hour and a half, and you're only supposed to have, that is not the hour, that is way over what you're supposed to do for a lunch break, and it will be on company time. So it's like, while everybody else is here busting their ass, they're out having lunch, and I'm just like, bro, I'm like, you gonna take this dude out to lunch, and you can at least take everybody out to lunch, especially if you're gonna do that shit. But don't give this dude no special favors. Especially, this is what made me mad. After this dude got promoted, he pulled those switcheroo on him and was like, you know what? I ain't about to do nothing. This dude lazed around, especially whenever my boss wasn't there. When my boss was there, he'd work. When he wasn't, he'd be sitting in the office or just doing something else. And I'm just like, bro, I'm like, what are you doing? So it just made no sense to me. And then, around that inventory time, I already knew what was going on through my head. Old boy had to stay, the one I was just talking about. And my other, the other manager, she was there. But I was just thinking, I was just like, bro, I was like, at least we're gonna get something done, because he knows it's important. He ain't gonna be slacking off. And what really made me mad that day was I had that day off. I had the day off before inventory and the day of inventory. I had that day off, or I had the day of inventory off and the day before off. So I was just thinking, I was like, well, I don't know why he did that, but I was like, oh well. I was just like, good luck. Y'all don't need my help, sweet. And then I ended up getting called into work that day, and I was at school. Like, I'm a college student, and then my girlfriend was there. I had just made plans to go hang out with her, and I get called into work. So I'm just like, are you fucking serious? He pretty much, like, just bribed me into coming in. He's just like, we'll go ahead and give you the other day off or whatever. But pretty much, they just made me come into work. And then I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I really want to say no, but I do understand it's inventory. I take pride in my work. I want to go ahead and help them out or whatever. Just do whatever I can to help. So I ended up doing that. Went in. My girlfriend understood, and I was just like, you know what, I have Thursday off, we can just do something that day. So when I went into work, this is what pissed me off. I came into work, I just asked him, I said, does it have to be Thursday that I have off? And he was just like, oh, you want to work your whole schedule? And I'm like, looking at him, I'm like, no, I didn't say that. And he's like, oh, we'll go ahead and go over in an office. So pretty much what he was saying was, oh, you want to go ahead and work the schedule you already had, and you just want me to add this day, and you don't have enough time to do whatever it is you were going to do. So I was like, pretty much like, bro, you better give me my damn days off. So as he was going over the schedule in the office, he was like, all right, so Quentin, you want to go ahead and work that full schedule? And I was just like, I'm kind of looking at him like, no. I really don't. He's like, oh, you'll go ahead and work it. And he put me on. And I was like, bro, I'm like, what are you doing? And then he was just like, and then I said to him, I was like, don't I need my 2 days off? He's just like, oh, no, don't worry about it. You'll go ahead and work 6 days in a row. We all had to go ahead and do it. You'll be good. And then as he was saying that, he was like, look to the other dude. He's like, I'm going to go ahead and give you tomorrow off or whatever. And I just looked at him like, bro, he's not even working 6 days in a row. I'm like, you going to get this dude pretty much my day off just because of what? And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But I kept my mouth shut. And I just looking at him like, I was like, I'm like looking at the other manager. I'm like, is this nigga serious? And she just looked at me. She's just like, I don't know. But I was just like, okay. I was like, whatever, it's inventory. Just let me go ahead and get this store looking good. And we had extra help that day. I was just like, let's just go ahead and knock it out. So I was talking to my buddy that actually worked there. I'm pretty sure he's trying to get out of there too. I wish him the best of luck to get out of there. But I was just talking to him, and I was talking to the other cashier that was there. I was just pretty much giving them the rundown. And then that's when homeboy come through, and he's like talking to me, like trying to give me the rundown, like he the boss over me. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, bro, I got this. I was like, you just need to make sure that you get everything like underneath all the grids. Make sure there's none of the just make sure there's not like a bunch of different like items under there so they can be accounted for. Just make sure they're on the pegs and just make sure the stuff is faced off. So he's like, okay. He's like, I got it. This dude did not do anything the entire night. I came in there for 5 hours and he went in the office first. Then he cleaned up a spot on the floor. Then he was taking back like these little strays or whatever, like these items that don't go where they go, and putting them back one by one, which you don't need to do. Like he could have took an entire like cart full and then did it that way. So pretty much he was like milking time, and I'm just looking at him. I'm like, I asked the cashiers and my buddy, I was just like, bruh, what have you been seeing him doing? It's just like, and then even my buddy came up to me, he's like, he's not doing anything. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to talk to this dude for a minute. So I stopped him for a minute. I was like, what exactly are you doing? He's just like, I'm putting back some strays. Yeah, and I was just like, it's not what we're focused on right now. He's like, I was just gonna go ahead, get out your way, make sure, you take care of what you need to do. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure everything is in shape. Yeah, and I'm just looking at him like, dude, you don't have to do that. I was like, just focus on cleaning for right now. He's like, alright, and then he walked off, and I'm just like, are you serious, dude? And then I didn't even take a break that day. Like, I was supposed to take a break, but of course I didn't get to until, like, after we locked the doors. So, at that time, then I was still working, so it wasn't like I actually had time to sit down. So, I was just like, wow, this dude's in here sitting down for, like, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. We out here busting our ass, and he says he's managing. When, first off, I would have been there way before he did. He did a terrible job at that night. I don't know what was going on with that dude. But, anyway, one thing that made me feel good after all that hard work, the next day, I actually told my boss, I was like, I don't care how much you like this dude, he didn't do a damn thing yesterday, and if he even say he did anything, it's about to be a problem. He's like, no, I understand that. He actually manned up and said, he didn't do it. And I was like, he actually did? He was like, yeah, he actually said he went ahead and did everything. And I just looked at him, I was like, yeah, that's good. And I was like, but what about him? He didn't do anything. I was like, you need to go ahead and talk to him. He was like, oh yeah, I went ahead and talked to him. He just said his legs were hurting from skateboarding and blah, blah, blah. And it was a bullshit ass excuse. And I was just looking like, bro, are you serious right now? I was like, you really just covered for this dude and gave up this bullshit excuse like he does no wrong. And if that was somebody else, we would have been written up. So I was like, I don't care if his legs was hurting. I was like, this dude was walking around the store like putting shit back one by one. Clearly his legs was not hurting that bad. And I was like, he would have been, I don't care if he would have had a rolly chair and did it. I was like, you need to do something. But he's just like, oh no, he's been having some rough times. I need to figure out. He never figured out what was wrong with him at all. He just covered for him all the time. So around the end of that week, that's when we got paid, and I looked at my check, and it was the biggest check I ever got from that job. It was $500, and I looked at it. I was surprised. I was shocked, actually. The first time I looked at it, I was like, I'm surprised I got paid this much. And they were just like, yeah, you actually worked hard. And that's what one of the cashiers that was there that day said, and I was just like, yeah. And that's when I just got depressed and kind of had like an epiphany all at once. So I was just like, bro, I just thought to myself, now contacting my one friend that works at this one company, I was just like, dude, I need a new job. He's just like, why, man? I was just like, I can't do that over there. I was like, they doing too much stupid shit. And then I just kept thinking, I was like, I should not have worked that hard, put that much time and effort into and gotten paid that much. I felt like I should have got paid way more than that. So I was just like, dude, I can't do that. Especially when I've been like missing my like my homework and stuff from school, coming in on my days off. I'm like, and that's all I get. I'm just like, all that hard work for that. And I'm like, and then he's still giving this dude all these perks and he ain't doing shit. I was just like, I'm out this boy. So I ended up just applying for a new job. That one job I applied for, I ended up getting called back, had the interview, went through the hiring process, you know, all that stuff. They actually asked me questions and it felt like an actual job interview. And I actually went through the whole training stuff like the week when I was still working over there. I had like training in the morning at the new job, and then I had, you know, to close the store on the other jobs. So I was just going through the training, making sure I had everything that I needed to know, and I was like, you know what, as soon as I actually do what I have to do here, like actually do what the job consists of, then I will go ahead and put my 2 weeks in. I want to actually make sure this is something I can do. So it's something I would like. So when I ended up doing that week, I found out something that was bad was like the day I had work was going to conflict with the new job that I had. So it was either pretty much don't show up for the training and don't have the job, or go to that stupid ass job and put up with that shit. So I was just like, you know what? Unfortunately, this is not what I had to do. Well, it's not what I wanted to do. It's something I had to do, which was pretty much just quit the job that I was currently working at, where I was assistant manager and all that stuff. Was pretty much quit that job, go to the new one, become a noob, and pretty much take a risk because I don't know what can happen over there. I just want to make sure I'm doing everything I need to do down there, and I had to quit the job I had. And then I just came in. They were just like, "Please tell me you're working," and I was just like, "No." Handed in my keys. I was just like, I can't do it right now. It's like I got a new job, I'm moving on to something else. That's it. And then the manager that the other manager, not old boy, the one girl, she was just like, I wish you would have put your 2 weeks in, but I definitely understand that. And what was bad in her situation is that my boss, well, my former boss, he did not like her. And the reason why he did not like her was because, yeah, she can forget stuff, but she was supposed to end up like taking the store over when he leaves. And if he keeps putting in bad words in for her, whenever she messes something up, he won't tell her anything. He would just like put in bad words for her so she could not ever get the store and be stuck at the position she's at because he just don't like her. And it's like on some childish shit. There was a lot of childish stuff he's done to her, and yet she still puts up with it, which I don't know how she do it. But I pretty much just told her, I was like, yeah, you can apply at where I'm at over there. I'm like, if you get a ride over there, you good. I was like, you can say bye to this place and you make more over there too. So she just thought about it. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and look into that. And I was like, good. And gave her a hug. She added me on Facebook and everything because she was actually a really cool person there. And then as soon as I walked out, the cashier, another good friend of mine, and she actually knew my girlfriend too, which was pretty cool. They were good friends too. And she just looked at me, she smiled. She's like, congratulations. I was like, thank you. Because I told like the cashiers like that I pretty much I was cool with everybody except for my actual boss. And old boy I was even cool with, but I just didn't like their relationship, my boss and old boy. But I told everybody else except for the other managers. I told everybody else, and I think that one lady I didn't tell, but we don't really talk like that. I told them all like, yo, if I'm about to say like, if I like that job, I'm gonna have to quit here because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put my 2 weeks in. But they was all happy for me and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, I got y'all on Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and see y'all later anyway. So I was like, I got their contact information, so it's like I'm not going nowhere. But when I got home, bruh, I felt depressed, and man, I was just like, bro, I just left all that for something new that I don't know that much about, and I'm just like, it's a risk, but I was like, I'm gonna have to do it because it's gonna help me out in the future. So pretty much that was the hardest decision that I ever had to make, and it's not like the customers hated me. I was actually really loved around that store too because I've heard plenty of times I was the nicest person there. I had customers coming in specifically looking for me, and I had a customer that I would always get something for because she had her own issues or whatever. She would come in like every day and pick it up, and then I told her, I said, you know what, if you don't pop up Saturday, this might be the last time I do this. And she looked at me, she was like, what do you mean? And I was just like, I got another job and I might have to quit here. And then she just came over, and her face went from mad to sad, and she had to hug me, and she's just like, I'm gonna go ahead and miss you. You was just so nice. And she's like, who gonna do this for me now? And I looked at my old coworker. I was like, they're gonna have to promote him. I was like, he good. And I was just like, they got more options here. It's either him or my other friend that works here. I was like, if he stays that long. And I was just like, it's either them two. And I'm like, they both nice. And then she's like, oh, y'all better. And she said, y'all better treat me. Whoever it is, better treat me like he did. And then she walked out the door, and it made me feel good because I knew that I actually did good by impacting certain people's lives, but I mean, I just left all that, so I don't know, man. That crap made me depressed. But anyway, guys, that was pretty much the hardest decision I ever had to make. And follow up story: the next day when I went to work at the other job, that feeling instantly went away. I was all right because I was seeing most of the customers like around the area because it's a small area or whatever, and I just see them and I'd be like, "Yo, what's up?" I mean, it was cool. It's like it's nothing different. I just don't like ring up your stuff and put it in a bag anymore. I was like, "We cool," but it felt pretty good, man. So I ain't gotta worry about none of the other bull crap at the other job. But I don't know, man. Only time will tell. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was a very long video, and in case you guys have stayed to the end, pretty much I'm gonna go back to my old schedule of uploads. I just had a very busy week of working like 2 different jobs and stuff like that, coming up with that decision and just just moving on from there. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. This is Quentin with Quentin Knows Games, and apparently Quentin knows stories or whatever. And that's it, guys, and peace out.